worthy of respect. Let's get it on. This case took place during the match between PSG and Rennes in the French Championship. As Neymar walked slowly towards the edge of the pitch, a teenager ran out and, with tears in his eyes, rushed to embrace his idol. The player not only returned the hug, but also protected the fan from security. Neymar took the boy off the pitch and gave him his shirt. What may seem a trifle to a football star, to a young admirer will be a real treasure. For example, the boots that Neymar gave to one of his fans probably became the coolest piece in his collection.
Presentear a galera ali com chuteira. Será que vai jogar para a galera, o Neymar não? Entregando garoto ali com a camisa do Flamengo.
The famous soccer player had to walk barefoot a little, but the boy's happiness was definitely worth it. But don't think that genius actions worthy of respect can only be found in football. Tennis player Rafael Nadal stopped the game so that the public would help a panicked mother find her daughter lost in the crowd. The incident occurred during a friendly match in Mallorca. Nadal interrupted the match when the crowd of 7,000 people noisily noticed the woman sobbing. She was standing next to an assistant calling her daughter. In the end, little Clara was found, and the public applauded this emotional moment for a long time. One of the best tennis players of our time, the first racket in the world, Novak Djokovic, has always been considered a great guy with a sense of humor, and he never ceases to delight fans on the court, not only with his victories, but also with his great state of mind, as well as his simple human attitude towards everyone. For example, the Serbian tennis player once protected a ball boy from the rain and offered him water. Imagine how vivid the memory of this moment will be for the boy. Fighting for gold in the weight category of up to 74 kilograms, Sambo wrestler Stepan Popov of Belarus painfully hit his opponent in the leg, getting a clean victory over Azerbaijan world champion Amil Gasimov. Not in vain, Gasimov asked the referee to stop the fight. The blow of the Belarusian had been so precise that the pain was impossible to bear. At the end of the match, Gasimov couldn't even get up, and then Popov lifted him on his shoulders and brought him to the changing room under the applause of the audience.
Can you imagine? You've been trying to throw each other around for 5 minutes?
During the men's individual sprint at the 2014 Olympic Games in Sochi, Anton Gafarov fell hard in a downhill during the semi-finals, and one of his skis broke. However, the Russian athlete found the strength to stand up and finish. Nevertheless, it wasn't so easy to do with a broken ski on the difficult track of Sochi. Advancing to the finish line with the damaged equipment, Gafarov fell again and again.
Been where the trouble is.
As a result, Canadian coach Justin Wadsworth approached the Russian with a spare ski and helped him finish his Olympic performance with dignity. Running the entire distance of a marathon is no easy task, so it's no wonder some runners feel unwell. In the 37th London Marathon, Matthew Rees helped another competitor, David Wyeth, reach the finish line. At the 42-kilometer finish line, Wyeth's legs began to wobble due to fatigue. With only 300 meters left until the end of the race, Rees realized his opponent was exhausted and stopped. He helped him cross the finish line, sacrificing his own result. In the match of the Spanish Championship between Real Madrid and Getafe, there was a rather unpleasant incident. In the 19th minute of the match, Cristiano Ronaldo, fighting for the ball with a Getafe player, threw the ball into the stands, hitting one of the fans on the nose. At the end of the match, Ronaldo personally reconciled with the victim. He gave the fan a t-shirt with his name and took a photo with him. By the way, Real Madrid won the match 4-0. Ronaldo himself made a hat-trick. At the end of the chase race for the 6th stage of the Biathlon World Cup in the Italian city of Antols, there was an incredibly emotional episode. Russian athlete Daria Domracheva and her Italian colleague Dorothea Wera fought for silver in the final round. Guerra was running to the finish line, but her stick broke under opponent's skis. The Italian athlete dropped the stick, and with her last strength tried to reach the finish line. It had seemed that after all she would only get the bronze, but suddenly Domracheva did something incredible. Seeing that her opponent can no longer compete with her on an equal footing, the athlete stopped competing. In the end, Guerra finished second, and Domracheva took third place. And this is what she said in the interview. "On the finish line, I stepped on Dorothea's stick and she lost it. In my opinion, it wouldn't be fair to compete against an athlete who lost her stick because of me." NHL Washington Capitals left-sided striker Alex Ovechkin once took part in an unusual event. He had a date with a 10-year-old fan named Anne who had Down syndrome. The young fan visited the Capitals game, met with the players and the team coach, and also had lunch with Ovechkin, and it was very, very touching.
Oh, I have to help you. Good?
Alright, stay right there like this.
Help me!
Oh, pass up.
And then this was the one you brought for him where you said he has the dark hair.
High five, man. Yay!
A truly unusual case took place at the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro during the men's 400-meter freestyle. Spaniard Miguel Duran Navia made a false start by not clinging to the starting board and sliding into the water. The judges disqualified the athlete for making a mistake. Navia was so upset that he left the pool crying. It was very sad. However, after a while, the judges decided to return the swimmer to the track. Uruguayan striker Edinson Cavani was injured in the 1/8 World Cup 2018 match against Portugal. In the 71st minute, the Uruguayan began to limp and couldn't continue the game and was replaced by Christian Stuani. It's natural in football, but the most interesting thing happened when Cavani left the field. He was helped by Portuguese captain Cristiano Ronaldo.